Ladies and gentlemen, life is a journey filled with both sunshine and storms, and while we may desire comfort, it is the storms that shape us into who we are meant to be. We often fear challenges, seeing them as barriers to our happiness. But what if I tell you that adversity is not a curse? It is a blessing in disguise. Though it does not come with kindness or ease, it does not knock on the door and ask for permission to enter our lives. Instead, it shakes us, breaks us, and tests us. But in that very process, it also strengthens us. The strongest trees are those that have faced the harshest winds, and the same is true for human beings. It is in our struggles that we discover our resilience. Adversity is often seen as an unwelcome guest, a force that disrupts our lives and tests our patience. But in reality, it is one of the greatest teachers life has to offer. Challenges push us beyond our limits, forcing us to grow in ways we never imagined. They refine us, shape us, and strengthen us. Without struggles, we remain stagnant, unable to unlock the full potential that lies within us. Imagine a child learning to walk. They stumble, they fall, but they do not give up. Every time they rise after falling, they develop balance, strength, and resilience. Similarly, life throws obstacles in our path not to halt our progress, but to strengthen our ability to stand tall despite difficulties. Growth is never found in comfort. It is in discomfort, in pain, and in struggle that we evolve into stronger, wiser versions of ourselves. Inventor or visionary has faced setbacks and failures. Their success stories are not defined by the ease of their journey, but by the ability to learn from adversity. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. Did those failures define him? No. Instead, they became stepping stones toward his ultimate achievement. He once said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That is the mindset of someone who understands that adversity is a teacher, not a punishment. Challenges reveal who we truly are. It is easy to be kind, patient, and strong when everything is going well. But true character is tested in moments of struggle. A person who has never faced hardship may not fully understand resilience, compassion, or the value of perseverance. It is only when we are faced with difficulties that we discover our true capabilities. Adversity also teaches us the power of perspective. When we encounter obstacles, we have two choices: to see them as barriers or to view them as opportunities for growth. Those who succeed in life are not the ones who never experience pain. They are the ones who refuse to let pain define them. They choose to see the lesson rather than the loss, the growth rather than the suffering. Consider the story of a diamond. It starts as a rough, unremarkable stone, but through immense pressure and time, it transforms into something precious and valuable. The same principle applies to human beings. It is through the pressures of life, the hardships, failures, and disappointments that we are shaped into something greater. Many people fear adversity because they associate it with suffering. However, suffering is temporary, but the lessons we learn from it are permanent. The next time you face a challenge, instead of resisting it, embrace it. Ask yourself, what is this teaching me? Every hardship carries a lesson, and once we start seeing difficulties as opportunities to learn and grow, we begin to realize that adversity is not our enemy, it is our greatest teacher. Resilience is not something we are born with, it is something we build through life's trials and tribulations. Every challenge, every hardship, and every moment of struggle is an opportunity to develop strength, patience, and adaptability. Life is unpredictable, and it does not always go as planned. There will be moments when everything seems to be falling apart, when doors close, and when we feel like giving up. But it is in these moments that resilience is born. It is through adversity that we learn to rise, to keep going despite the odds, and to believe in our own ability to overcome. Imagine a seed buried deep in the soil. At first, it may seem like it is trapped, covered in darkness, and forgotten. But slowly it pushes through the earth, finding its way toward the light. It faces obstacles, rocks, harsh weather, and lack of nourishment. Yet it continues to grow, its roots strengthening beneath the surface. Eventually it emerges as a strong, tall tree, unshaken by the wind and rain. This is the power of resilience. Difficult times test us in ways we never expect. When we are faced with challenges, we often feel that life is unfair or that we are not strong enough to handle them. But the truth is, we are far more capable than we believe. Resilience is not about avoiding difficulties, it is about facing them head on. It is about acknowledging pain, learning from failures, and refusing to be defeated by circumstances. Some of the most inspiring individuals in history are those who turn their struggles into strength. Helen Keller, who lost her sight and hearing at a young age, could have easily accepted a life of limitations. But instead, she chose to rise above her circumstances, becoming an author, activist, and a source of hope for millions. Her story is proof that resilience is not about what happens to us, but how we choose to respond. Resilience is also about adaptability. Life will not always go according to our plans, but that does not mean we stop moving forward. Sometimes, our failures redirect us to something greater than we had imagined. The ability to adapt, to change course when needed, and to find new ways of achieving our goals is a crucial part of resilience. It is not about avoiding failure, but about using it as fuel to keep going. When we develop resilience, we also inspire those around us. Our struggles, our ability to rise after falling, and our determination to keep going become a beacon of hope for others. The world does not need people who have never faced failure. It needs people who have fallen and still found the strength to rise. No matter how difficult life gets, we must remember that hardships are temporary, but the strength we build through them lasts forever. Every time we overcome a challenge, we become a little stronger, a little wiser, and a little more unstoppable. The storms will come, but we must choose to stand tall and face them, because resilience is the key to transforming challenges into stepping stones towards success. Adversity has a way of uncovering truths about ourselves that we may never have discovered otherwise. When everything is going well, we rarely question who we are, what we are capable of, or what truly matters in life. But when challenges arise, they force us to look deeper within ourselves. Struggles strip away our illusions, our fears, and our doubts, revealing the strength, courage, and potential that have always been inside us. Difficult times serve as mirrors, reflecting our true character. When faced with hardship, we begin to see our real priorities, values, and inner strength. We learn what we can endure, how much we can grow, and how deeply we can transform. Many people go through life without ever truly knowing themselves because they have never been tested. It is only when we are pushed beyond our limits that we discover that our limits were never real to begin with. Imagine a piece of raw gold. At first, it looks dull and unremarkable. But when it is placed in fire, its impurities burn away, and what remains is pure, shining gold. In the same way, adversity refines us. It removes what is unnecessary and brings out the best in us. It forces us to ask important questions. Who am I when everything is taken away? What do I truly believe in? What is my purpose? Through this self-reflection, we gain a clarity that comfort can never provide. We are given a choice to let them break us or to let them shape us. Those who choose to learn and grow from their struggles often emerge with a newfound sense of self. They become more aware of their inner power, their resilience, and their ability to rise above circumstances. They begin to realize that their worth is not determined by external achievements, but by the strength they carry within. Some of the most successful and influential people in the world found their true selves through hardship. Oprah Winfrey, for example, faced numerous personal and professional struggles before becoming the icon she is today. Each challenge forced her to dig deeper into her own potential, to rise above her circumstances, and to become a voice of empowerment for others. She did not allow adversity to define her. Instead, she used it to redefine herself. Self-discovery through adversity also changes the way we approach life. When we understand our true strength, we stop fearing failure. We no longer seek validation from others because we have already found it within ourselves. We learn that success is not about avoiding hardships, but about facing them with confidence, knowing that we have the power to overcome them. Every struggle we encounter is an opportunity to learn something new about ourselves. It teaches us patience, resilience, and the ability to adapt. The journey of self-discovery is not always easy, but it is always worth it. When we embrace our struggles as lessons rather than burdens, we begin to uncover the limitless strength and potential that have always been a part of us. Failure is often seen as something negative, something to be avoided at all costs. But in reality, failure is one of the greatest teachers life has to offer. It is not the end of the road. It is a stepping stone towards success. Every failure brings with it valuable lessons. Lessons that cannot be learned through success alone. It teaches us perseverance, resilience, and the ability to rise stronger after every fall. One of the biggest misconceptions about failure is that it defines our worth. Society often conditions us to believe that failing means we are not good enough, that we are incapable, or that we should give up. But if we look at the stories of the most successful individuals, we see that failure was not an obstacle for them. It was a necessary part of their journey. Thomas, the man who invented the light bulb, failed thousands of times before he succeeded. When asked about his repeated failures, he famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His ability to view failure as a learning experience rather than a defeat is what led him to success. Failure does not mean we are incapable. It means we are trying. It means we are pushing our limits and stepping out of our comfort zones. No one who has ever achieved greatness has done so without experiencing setbacks. J.K. Rowling, before becoming one of the most successful authors in the world, faced numerous rejections from publishers. If she had given up after the first rejection, the world would never have known the magic of Harry Potter. She allowed failure to teach her patience, persistence, and belief in her own work. Failure forces us to grow in ways that success never can. It pushes us to reevaluate our strategies, to think differently, and to improve. When we fail, we gain experience. We understand what works and what doesn't. Each setback is a lesson that prepares us for something greater. It is through repeated attempts, through trial and error, that we refine our skills and develop the mindset needed to succeed. Failure also builds resilience. It teaches us not to fear falling, but to embrace it as part of the process. Those who avoid failure at all costs often end up avoiding success as well because they never take risks. But those who understand that failure is just another step forward are the ones who eventually achieve their goals. Perhaps the most important lesson failure teaches us is that our worth is not determined by our mistakes, but by how we rise after them. Each failure is an opportunity to start again, this time with more knowledge, more experience, and more strength. The road to success is paved with failures, and the only way to truly fail is to stop trying. So the next time you encounter failure, do not see it as the end. See it as a new beginning, a chance to learn, improve, and grow. Because every failure brings you one step closer to success. Hardships have a way of changing our perspective on life. When everything is going well, we often take things for granted. We assume that the people, opportunities, and comforts we have will always be there. But when we face adversity, we begin to see life differently. It forces us to pause, reflect, and appreciate the things we once overlooked. Difficulties may seem like burdens, but in reality, they teach us one of the most valuable lessons: gratitude. We start valuing what we still have. A person who has faced financial struggles learns to appreciate even the smallest of blessings. Someone who has dealt with illness understands the true value of health. A person who has lost a loved one realizes the importance of time and relationships. Hardships shift our focus from what we lack to what we still possess. They remind us that even in the darkest moments, there is always something to be thankful for. Gratitude is not about ignoring pain or pretending that struggles do not exist. It is about choosing to see the good despite the difficulties. It is about recognizing that even in our lowest moments, there are lessons to be learned and strength to be gained. People who cultivate gratitude during tough times find that their hardships do not break them. Instead, they transform them into stronger and wiser individuals. People who have faced great difficulties become the most compassionate and kind-hearted. When someone has known what it is like to struggle, they are more likely to extend a helping hand to others. Hardships create empathy. They make us more understanding of the pain others go through. A person who has fought battles in life does not judge others easily because they know how unpredictable life can be. Adversity also teaches us to differentiate between what truly matters and what does not. Often, we chase after material success, wealth, or status, believing that these things will bring us happiness. But when we face hardships, we realize that true happiness lies in simple things. The love of family, the kindness of a friend, or even the ability to wake up and try again. We start valuing relationships over possessions, moments over achievements, and inner peace over external validation. History has shown us that some of the most resilient and inspiring people are those who have faced the greatest struggles. Nick Vujicic, born without limbs, could have lived a life filled with bitterness, but instead, he chose to embrace gratitude. He focused not on what he lacked, but on what he could still do. Today, he is a global inspiration, reminding people that gratitude is a choice, not a circumstance. We have two choices: to complain or to find something to be grateful for. Gratitude does not erase the pain, but it gives us the strength to move forward. It turns our focus from despair to hope, from problems to possibilities. No matter how hard life gets, there is always something to appreciate. Hardships do not take away our blessings. They simply remind us to see them more clearly. Every person has a story, and often, the most powerful stories come from those who have faced struggles and emerged stronger. Adversity has a way of shaping us, refining us, and, most importantly, giving us the ability to inspire others. When we overcome challenges, we do not just change our own lives. We become a source of strength for those who are still fighting their battles. Our experiences, no matter how painful, have the potential to serve as a guiding light for others who feel lost in the darkness. People often believe that inspiration comes from perfection, from those who have never failed or struggled. But in reality, true inspiration comes from those who have fallen, endured hardships, and yet found the courage to rise again. When someone shares their journey of overcoming difficulties, it resonates deeply because it reminds others that they too can survive and grow. Think about the individuals who have inspired you the most. They are likely not people who have had an easy life, but those who have turned their pain into purpose. Malala Yousafzai, who faced immense adversity after being attacked for advocating girls' education, did not let fear silence her. Instead, she used her struggle to empower millions of young girls worldwide. Her story is proof that hardships do not have to break us. They can be transformed into a message of hope and change. When we share our struggles openly, we help break the illusion that life must be perfect. So many people suffer in silence, believing that they are alone in their battles. But when they hear about someone who has faced similar hardships and come out stronger, they begin to see that hope is real. They realize that their struggles do not define them and that they too have the strength to overcome. It is important to remember that inspiring others does not always require grand achievements. Sometimes, the simple act of sharing your journey, your lessons, and your growth can make a difference in someone's life. A single conversation, a kind word, or even an act of resilience can give someone else the courage to keep going. Adversity also teaches us empathy. When we have experienced pain, we are more capable of understanding and comforting others. We become more patient, more compassionate, and more willing to help. Many of the greatest mentors, teachers, and leaders are those who have struggled in their own lives. Their experiences allow them to connect deeply with others, not from a place of sympathy, but from a place of true understanding. Inspiring others through our struggles is not just about sharing success, it is about sharing the journey, the failures, the doubts, and the moments of despair that led to growth. It is about showing people that it is okay to struggle, that it is okay to fall, but most importantly, that it is possible to rise. We may not always realize it, But our resilience, our courage, and our ability to overcome hardships have the power to change lives. When we choose to share our story, we become a reminder that no matter how difficult the road, there is always a way forward. Life is a journey filled with challenges, hardships, and unexpected obstacles, but it is in these very moments that we find our greatest strength. Adversity is not a curse, it is a blessing in disguise. It pushes us to grow, forces us to discover our inner resilience, and teaches us the most valuable lessons that success alone never could. Without struggle, there is no progress. Without failure, there is no learning. And without pain, there is no true appreciation of life's blessings. The difficulties we face shape us into stronger, wiser, and more compassionate individuals. They give us the ability to see life from a new perspective, to appreciate the things we once took for granted, and to inspire others who are fighting their own battles. Every challenge is an opportunity, every failure is a lesson, and every hardship is a stepping stone toward greatness. Let us not fear adversity, but embrace it. Let us not be discouraged by failures, but learn from them. And let us not allow struggles to break us, but use them to build a life filled with purpose, gratitude, and strength. Because in the end, it is not the easy days that define us, it is the tough ones. The ones that tested us, shaped us, and proved that we are capable of rising again, no matter how many times we fall. Adversity is not the end of the road, it is the beginning of a new chapter, one that holds the potential to transform us into the best version of ourselves. So, the next time life challenges you, remember, you are stronger than you think. And every hardship is preparing you for something greater. Keep going, keep believing, and let your struggles become your greatest source of strength